not at all creepy layout, which is the first layout I've made with my Studio Calico sock hop kit. I also have the penny loafers and the poodle skirt add-ons. So I've got a ton of supplies to work with this month, and I'm going to have my hands full trying to use it all up. So I just picked out some of my favorite papers there to work with, and I wanted, because I'm going with those pictures of my daughter in her fairy costume, I wanted to use some pastels. I basically want this one to contrast with the cute and creepy layout that I did of my older daughter, and these are going to be on opposite sides. And so at first I was thinking about kind of creating a giant gray chevron in the middle of my paper, and then I thought that I didn't like that at all, so I took middle um, the middle part of the pattern paper and decided to go with the opposite of what my initial idea was. I never have a plan for any of the layouts unless if I say so at the beginning. Usually I just sit down with the supplies and just things come together. So I get a lot of questions about whether I do a lot of planning, but everything that you see is exactly like I don't do any more planning unless if I say so at the beginning. So here I'm just cutting off a piece of that feather paper. I wanted the feathers to, because it's vellum and you can still see some of the chevron, I wanted the feather vellum paper to be the largest layer in the background, just because you can still see the chevron through it. So I didn't want to cover up too much of the chevron is what I'm trying to say. Um, so I'm just matting those pictures so that they have a bit more weight to them, because it's on a white background. The photos are on a white background, so it's hard to, I didn't want them to just float. So I glue down my chevron, and I'm gluing my paper onto the vellum, but I'm gonna fuss a whole lot with placement, and then I'm not gonna leave them there anyways. But that's just the way I roll. So that's about how I want them placed, but then I forgot I'd want some more layers in there, so I should not have stuck those photos down to the vellum, so I'll peel them off in a minute. I'm going to do some outlining around most of the papers for this layout. Just gives them a bit of definition. Where the colors are so light, I want them to kind of have a bit of definition. And I'm going to just add a layer of paper bag, and I liked how the paper bags folded, but they were a little bit too bulky, so I just took a couple of layers out. Sorry that you can't see it. Every time I zoom in, I forget to zoom out again. So there we go. Now that's looking a bit more like what I had in mind. Not that I had anything in mind, but I like it to be a little layered with lots of, little things peeking out. So then I decided that I would take that patterned vellum and use my notebook EK Success border punch to just add a bit of detail on one side of it. And I'm using Stampin' Up! Pop Dots, which are thinner than the other kind that I sometimes get at Michael's, and they're half the thickness, and so they're really nice for layering because you can get a bit of lift and shadow between your layers, but it doesn't end up being totally bulky. So those are those pink paisley photo tabs that come with the kit, and just figured out the placement there. And there's so much white space on these photos, I thought I would take advantage of it and do some stamping right onto the photo. So I'm using two of the stamps that are in the kit. That one says Find Joy, and I put it on the paper, on the picture where she had just found a penny in her Halloween thing from last year, so she was excited. That's like totally captured moment there. I just had to use my marker to fill in because sometimes when you stamp on photos, when you pull off your stamp, a little bit of the layer of the photo comes off, so I just had to kind of fill in the white that was showing through because it didn't look very nice. So then I took a piece of, what is that paper? The paper is basic gray, and I just used my scallop border punch to add some scallops to it. And I don't know, I'm missing an action here. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to come back in a second with my scallop border punch and punch another strip of paper so I have a shorter piece to put on the other side. And before I just glue those down, I'm going to outline the scallops. I find outlining scallops really hard, so I almost always do a double line just to, so my mistakes aren't all that obvious. It kind of gives it more of a sketchy, hand-drawn look. So now I'm just placing those in on either side of my photos. Going to add some adhesive so they actually stay down. I have been known to have a layout completely completed and then realize that I didn't glue some stuff down, so trying not to do that. Now I took a piece of that POW glitter paper, which I ordered from Studio Calico this month. It came in with my kit, and oh, I had my heart set on using this on this layout, but it did not work. Yeah, I just you know, I tried, so
but it's
you know,
not
I
going to
tried a
happen.
couple of different things there with rounding the corners, but don't worry, I'll use it on an upcoming layout. I don't think I use it on the next one, but the one after that. So now I'm just gonna have a look at the die cuts that came. They're cardstock die cuts that came in the kit. They are from the Dear Lizzie. I think they're from Fifth and Frolic. They've got that little fox in it, so they must be from Fifth and Frolic. Um, and I'm just I put 3 tags in along the top, and then I'm putting 3 more largish tags in along the bottom, and then I'm putting a couple of tickets and smaller things on top of those. And I also picked out that heart, which is also from the die cut set, and those wood veneer feathers, which are from Studio Calico, and they came in the kit. So I've got 3 clusters of embellishments going on. I've got a feather in each, and I've got either a brad or something shiny on each. So I'm just gonna snap a photo at this point because I have the clusters the way that I want them to be. That's gonna just allow me to take everything off and put everything back in the right order. I'm going to do some outlining on some of the larger elements, including that really cute tag with the flowers on it. And just going to glue them in as I put them back. Going to outline this one as well. And I'm just using my Zig writer. Sometimes I use my American Crafts Precision pen, and usually in the 0.03 or 0.05 width. And sometimes I just use my Zig writer. It just depends on which one is close within reach. The things that I'm not outlining, I am just going to line it in some black ink just so that it stands apart from the other layers. Then I'm going to use glossy accents to glue in that half of a sequin there. And then I'm going to, while that glossy accent is still wet, I'm going to put in my little wood veneer feather. And now I just need a little something else, so I put 2 little enamel dots on there. Those are by my mind's eye. All of this stuff is all from the kit. In fact, I think everything in this whole layout is from the kit. I'm going to outline that heart before I put it on, and then I'm going to move over to the other little cluster of embellishments. Going to glue on that leaf, and then I'm going to put that happy badge on, and I'm going to use 2 different types of foam. One is a thin foam, the Stampin' Up! One doesn't have much dimension, and then the other 2 square ones have a lot more dimension, and so where that badge has to span the layer of the wood veneer, pardon me, I just wanted it to lay flat, so that's how I did that. The brad that I had originally picked out there that came with the kit was a little too washed out for this cluster, and I wanted something that wasn't going to get lost. So I chose that fabric brad. It's from old sassafras set, and just kind of trying to decide. It felt like this needed something, but I wasn't sure what. So now I think I'm gonna move on now, or am I gonna fuss with this a bit more? No, I added a staple there to the tab, and that photo tab is from Pink Paisley, and it came with the kit. I don't think I talked about that when I first put that on. So I just made three clusters of those little enamel dots. Just I don't know why. And now I'm moving on to the bottom cluster, and I'm going to outline these tags, and I'm cutting them in half because there's no point um, in wasting them when they're going to be peeking out. So I get to use twice as many by cutting them all in half. And I'm just layering them so that they're all kind of a little bit staggered with one another, so that there's a variation of colors and sizes sticking out. Again, no point in wasting that whole tag just to have the tiny little number sticking out. I'm going to add the wood veneer leaf and that half of a sequin, and then I'm going to poke a hole and add my brad. That is a Echo Park brad. It's an ampersand. So what am I doing now? I'm getting some enamel dots. I wanted to put enamel dots on this cluster, but I really had a hard time placing them. It looks like it's coming out of her foot there, so I didn't like that. And so I ended up just putting it wherever because I couldn't find a place that I was really happy with, and I just wanted to be done, so I just put it there. Am I done now? I can't quite remember. Can't remember what comes next. Oh yes, I need to put the whole thing onto the background, of course. So I kind of toyed with the idea of doing it off to the side, kind of skewed off to the side, but I decided to leave that cluster with the photos on it in the middle. So now I'm going to spell out the title. These are all fonts that came in the kit. So this is I think it's Pink Paisley. Yes, Pink Paisley Portfolio Glitter Stickers. And then these are October Afternoon Mini Market stickers. And I was going to make Not be in the October Afternoon stickers too, but I ended up changing it. And I'm kind of playing with placement here. My initial idea was to put it in the top left-hand corner, but then I wanted to try it in the bottom corner as well, which I didn't like as much. I'm just gonna, pardon me, I'm going to use that basic gray vellum tape as a way of anchoring this title here. And so now that I've put the tape down, I'm going to do placement. Poor Maya. Maya's getting in the way. Pardon me, guys. Yeah, I had to finally just take her off the table. And now I'm going to staple these letters all in place, and the tiny attacher is the perfect size for stapling mini market stickers. I don't know if that's a coincidence or what, but they work perfectly. And now I'm going to put a little bit more of that vellum tape on the bottom part just so that it's not in one place. I like to have at least two of something, usually three, but here I'm going with two. And here's the point at which I decide Not is just in that pink color is just not going to stand out enough. Using these navy blue letters stickers, they're by Basic Gray and they're chipboard. It just makes the title a little bit more obvious because it's so dark. The mini market letters I think we're going to get lost in the background. So I'm just laying down one more piece of that tape, and then I'm going to put the word Not on top of it. So the title is Not Creepy at All, and it's the companion for this one, which you might have seen the process video. I think that's the last process video before this one. So this says Cute and Creepy, and then this one says Not Creepy at All. So they will go face to face, face by face, side by side in my scrapbook. So that's where I'm going to lay that one out. I can't remember if I'm going to do a close-up here or not. I think I am, so just be patient and wait for me here. This one was pretty fun to do. It was the first layout that I created with the sock hop kit. And so it was nice having a pick of anything, like literally nothing had been used or cut into. So it was really fun and easy. So thanks for watching, guys.